Miss him, huh? Here's on.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. This one we're going to be doing another video for his character. Over the course of The Walking Dead universe, we're going to rank all of his seasons from worst to best. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. We're going to go over his character, all of his seasons in The Walking Dead universe, and rank them from worst to best. So, obviously in this video we're going to be including the 11 seasons of The Walking Dead, because he's one of those very few rare characters that's actually involved in every season of The Walking Dead. Plus his spin-off series, The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. So, we're going to go over all that stuff, talk about which one's the worst, which one's the best, and everything in between. So, we did this for Rick and Michonne. Now we're going to do it for Daryl, and give it another week or two, we're going to do one for Carol, and we're going to do one for Morgan as well too, Maggie, and, you know, a bunch of other characters. But yeah, this one was definitely a little bit of a difficult one to make because Daryl has a lot of great seasons, but he also has a few seasons where I will admit he has problems as a character. So we're going to get into that right now. Starting off with number 12, The Walking Dead Season 8. So this is easily his weakest season of the franchise, mostly for a few different reasons. He crashes a truck into a place with innocent human beings inside, with kids inside, families inside, workers inside, everything, and doesn't even give a frig. Goes behind Rick's back, kicks Dwight out when Dwight is clearly not going to be a problem for them, but he threatens him and says, if I ever see you around here again, I'll kill you. And Daryl overall just does not listen to orders this season. It's really, really frustrating to watch. And again, we understand why Daryl's acting this way based off of what he went through the season beforehand with the torturing and, you know, the guilt of what he feels like towards Maggie. But it still really is just a frustrating storyline for him to see him act like this and to act so, you know, power hungry against the Saviors, and it's really, really frustrating to watch. So, Daryl, genuinely, I can say I didn't like him in Season 8. I didn't. It's one of the only times in The Walking Dead I can say I don't like Daryl. Season 8 Daryl, I don't enjoy at all. He pisses me the frig off. Now, next up, we have The Walking Dead Season 7. Now, this season for me is his second worst, not because of his character, because he's absolutely useless. I mean, look, he has some moments, like he beats the crap out of Richard, he has a few moments with Dwight, but for the most part, he literally is a nothing this entire season. He sits in a cell, he gets out about, you know, a little over midways through the season, just to then kind of be not even used in most of 7B, and then he comes back in like 7-14. He does have a cool scene with Maggie, which, like I said, he has moments this season, but he is barely involved in Season 7, honestly. And as well, punching Negan and being the guy that's responsible for Glenn's death, I think a lot of people could agree with me that objectively, this is his second worst season behind Season 8. Absolutely. Next up is then going to be, which this one might shock some people because I hear a lot of people complimenting him in this season. The next one is Season 9 for me. Now, it has nothing to do with the fact that in 9B, he's a really great character. Like, I'd argue in 9B, he's the best character of, you know, that half. I'm more so talking about him at this position at number 10 because of the first half of the season. The first half of Season 9, I don't know about y'all, maybe it's just me, Daryl annoyed the absolute crap out of me. Just let Rick do what he's gonna do and let Rick honor his son. Stop leading Rick into a crazy pit full of walkers and yelling in his face about the fact that he screwed up and that we're going to do it our way and we're going to, you know, do it all, you know, all the same, and I'm going to hold you hostage in this place until Maggie kills, you know, Negan and stuff. He felt like such like a freaking like sidekick to Maggie. He didn't even feel like his own character. And here's the thing, right, is that one of the biggest reasons why I don't like 9A Daryl is because he is legit the reason why Rick gets in the situation that he does. And Daryl leads Rick out, and he gets him in that position where he then leads the zombie horde away, and then, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Rick gets captured by CRM, and the rest is history. So Daryl seriously screwed up this half season, and you can tell the character feels that weight. But I'm not happy that they did that with Daryl's character. I'll never be happy that they made Daryl go out like that with his relationship with Rick in the main show in that fashion. and he was very snarky. He had a lot of back talks and stuff, and I didn't appreciate what they were doing with him in the first half. They made him way too edgy, way too ballsy, too much, to a point where it's like, oh my god, like, we get it, you know? Yeah, Daryl's season 9 was not my favorites. The first half, at least. The second half, I really enjoyed him, and that's why it's better than 7 and 8. But, you know, again, he had a lot of issues. Now, next up, we have season 10. Now, this is the first season I can say that, like, there's nothing wrong with him. He's just, like, he's kind of boring this season is my only thing. Like, he has a few things, obviously, like the Connie stuff, but even that gets kind of cut short this season. You know, there's a few things, like, my favorite thing about Daryl probably in season 10 would be the episode between him and Negan, where Negan saves his life, and he's just like, untie me, asshole, you know, like, that was probably his best episode this season. But, again, yeah, good, solid season for Daryl, just a little on the boring side for him this season. Next up is then going to be season 11. Now, season 11, I think he's a little bit better. I love the connection that they start to build with him and Judith. I love the storyline that they have between him and, you know, obviously, leading the group and, you know, doing all this stuff. The only thing I don't care for this season with Daryl, and it's not even a character problem, it has nothing to do with Daryl. Daryl is awesome. But I don't like the storyline that they give him with Leah. I don't like the storyline with Leah. Never did, never will. Leah is a super badly written character. But I like Daryl's character this season. I like what he stands for. I like the inside man plot, of course, even though Pope's an idiot. I like the inside man plot. And I like the charisma that Norman brings. I really feel like they told Norman to, like, really up the ante this season when it comes to just everything, because Norman really felt like he had this other kind of, like, vibe to him in the final season. It was really great. And I loved what he did with him. Like the scene where he's like, I quit these once, I guess I'll have to quit them again. And Daryl's like, why? You know, it's like, it felt different, you know, and I mean that as a compliment. So, very, very good stuff there. Next up is then going to be season 3. Now, season 3, he's really good too. I love the storyline that they give him with Merle. I love the storyline that they kind of give him overall. I think it's fantastic. I will admit this, he's not utilized that much this season all the time, but when he's used and when he's a character, I really enjoy him, and I love when he has to put down Merle. This season was a very emotional roller coaster for his character, and honestly, I absolutely love it for that. I think it's absolutely incredible. Now, the next one is season 2. He's great in this season as well, too. He's really great. We got him, of course, kind of not knowing how to adjust in the group. You know, of course, looking for Sophia, what he does for Carol, stuff like that. I really enjoyed the hallucination episode where Merle kind of, you know, tempts him and stuff like that to go back and shoot Rick in the face, but, you know, of course he doesn't do it and stuff. But yeah, we learned a lot about him. He kind of finally started settling in as, like, Rick's right-hand man towards the end of this season and being like, okay, this guy we can use, you know what I mean? Like, this guy is really good. The next one is season 1. Now, season 1, I would say, is a great season for Daryl, because the thing is, he may not be developed as much as the other seasons, but the reason why he's still this high on the list is because of that on the edge, redneck, just crazy dude that we saw. I mean, he's so good. I love the charisma. I love the first scene with him and Rick and Shane. Obviously, when he finds out about his brother, he's there for the Vatos episode, which is an awesome episode with him and Rick. And I think that Daryl overall had a lot of really memorable things that season. Like, yeah, these doors are built to sustain a rocket launcher. Well, your head ain't, you know, he freaking grabs the axe and stuff, you know. Like, Daryl in season 1, he's rambunctious, he's crazy, and he's out of control, but I love it. It's so good. But yeah, Daryl season 1, some other kind of crazy creature. I'll put it that way. Now, the next one is season 5. So, season 5, I would say overall is just great for Daryl. I mean, I love the consistent bond that he has with Rick. I love the bond that he has with Carol. Trying to rescue Beth from the hospital. That was really good. And then in the second half of the season, this is some of my favorite stuff for Daryl, is in 5-10 when you see him, like, that mental state that he's in, you know what I'm saying? Where he keeps breaking off from the group, and then he gets that one moment with the cigarette where he, you know, actually lets out some emotion for once. I thought was so incredible. And I love the friendship that he builds with Aaron. I actually think Aaron and Daryl is one of the most underrated friendships of this show. I don't know about y'all. I absolutely love that friendship. I wish we got more of it because it's really good. I love the connection that they have. he gets through to Daryl, you know what I'm saying? He gives him a job, he gives him a bike, he gives him a purpose, you know what I'm saying? When Daryl thought he had no purpose in the community. It's actually a really emotional scene, and I thought it was really good. And I think Daryl is heavily underrated in this season. I really do. Now, the next up is Daryl Dixon Season 1. Now, this is pretty high on the list. This is our third one here. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. Man, this season's so good, man, for his character overall, because he makes relationships with a lot of people that, you know, you wouldn't expect him to make relationships with. I love the rivalry that they gave him with Codron this season in particular. You know, of course, the misunderstanding with the brother, and then obviously him being on his tail, but then Daryl's actually innocent. He was just defending himself. I love the closeness between him and Isabel, how much they both went through so much trauma, and how they both have a lot of scars on them and stuff. They're very similar people in their own right. I love the story of Daryl and Laurent trying to, you know, take this kid, you know, to this, you know, place where he can do what he's going to do. I love the flashbacks, the stuff with Daryl on this crazy-ass boat fighting these variants and stuff, the gladiator fight in the arenas and stuff. Really cool. I love his rivalry with Quinn. And I love that they give us lore on Daryl's grandfather, who also died in France. I mean, it's brilliant. I love it. And when he visits his grave, and the acting from Norman in that scene, the way he does that, it really pulls you in, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really spices up Daryl's character, I find, that season, and really makes things different, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, besides these two other seasons, this is my favorite season for his character. I love him in these next two seasons. But this season for Daryl Dixon, in his own spinoff, being number 3, very, very impressive. I really like his character this show. Now, next up we have Season 6. Now, Season 6, I gotta tell you, is one of my favorites. The Dwight episode, awesome. Getting the crossbow taken, awesome. Getting the rivalry between him and Dwight throughout the entire season. Him blowing up the Saviors with a freaking rocket launcher. Getting to see just like this absolutely just spectacle season for Daryl. All the foreshadowing with the helmet walker and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then getting the rivalry kind of concluding between him and Dwight at the end of that season. It's just so incredible. I love Daryl in Season 6. It admittedly is just as good as his number 1, but in my opinion, his number 1, his best season in this franchise, hands down, is Season 4. And the reason why I say Season 4 is for a few things. The standoff with Bob Stookie, one of my favorite scenes from Daryl when he threatens him. He's like, "You take one sip and I'm going to beat your ass into the ground." You know what I'm saying? He has an amazing connection with Michonne. He leads the group even more than Rick does, I would argue, in that half season. You know, getting the meds for the people and doing all the stuff, you know what I mean? He takes out an entire tank on his own, for God's sake. Even though I don't like still, the episode with Beth, when you get that extra character development, you learn about his brother, and you see what he's like as a drunk, you know what I'm saying? And you see the connection that he kind of has over time with Beth and what she means to him. Then joining Joe and the Claimers, being with them for a good while, getting that development with the whole Claim storyline. How Joe can just kind of figure out who Daryl is instantly, you know? And then capping it off with the bow, I would say, that makes this the best season ever. The finale when he tells Joe to take the blood from him. Don't kill Rick, take it from him. And you get the beatdown, you get the "you're my brother" line. I mean, how can that not be his best season? Like, Daryl is like the show stealer that season. Him and Rick are like the best of Season 4, you know what I'm saying? And like maybe like Herschel, you know what I mean? Like, they're the greatest of Season 4. So good. But anyway, there you go, guys. That is the rankings for all of the Daryl Dixon Walking Dead seasons of his character that exist. There is 12 seasons of his character, 13 coming up, of course, with the newest season of The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, premiering next month. And we'll have to see where that kind of stacks up in comparison to everything else. But thank you all for watching. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe and tune us any other videos of The Walking Dead. Sure, follow me at Dan's The Walking Dead Review, subscribe, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for my videos of The Walking Dead universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.